In a world full of surface-level stories, we go deeper. Welcome to The Depth, your destination for facts, science, history, and mysteries that shape our world. Let's begin the journey, deeper than ever before. Hello, and welcome to our deep dive into the fascinating world of Japan. Today, we're going even deeper, uncovering more unique insights that reveal the intricate social fabric of this incredible country. These aren't just quirks. They're windows into the Japanese mindset. So get ready to see urban life in Japan like never before. Let's start with something you might not even think about: blowing your nose. Here in the West, if you have a cold, you grab a tissue and take care of business. In Japan, however, blowing your nose loudly in public is considered extremely rude. It's seen as unhygienic and disruptive. Instead, you'll notice people discreetly sniffling until they can find a private space, like a restroom, to blow their nose. This is a perfect example of prioritizing group harmony over individual comfort. It's not about suppressing a natural bodily function, but rather being considerate of the people around you. The sound, the action itself, is thought to impose on others' personal space. So, if you're traveling to Japan with a cold, remember to pack extra masks and be prepared to sniffle your way to the nearest lavatory. It's a small adjustment that shows a great deal of respect for the local culture. Now, let's talk about scale. Picture the busiest intersection you've ever been to. Times Square, Piccadilly Circus. Now, multiply that by 10. Welcome to the Shibuya Scramble Crossing in Tokyo. This isn't just an intersection. It's a spectacle, a symbol of Tokyo's vibrant, non-stop energy. On average, a staggering 3,000 pedestrians cross here at the same time every time the light changes. It's an organized chaos that's mesmerizing to watch. From above, it looks like a human river flowing in all directions, yet collisions are remarkably rare. Each person, almost instinctively, navigates the space, adjusting their path to avoid bumping into others. This incredible feat of mass coordination happens hundreds of times a day. It's a living, breathing testament to the collective consciousness and spatial awareness that is so ingrained in Japanese society. You can spend hours just watching the ebb and flow of people, a perfect metaphor for the individual within the collective. This leads us directly to a core concept that underpins so much of Japanese social etiquette: meiwaku. There's no perfect English translation, but it essentially means trouble, bother, or inconvenience to others. The cultural imperative is to avoid causing meiwaku at all costs. This principle governs everything from speaking quietly on trains to meticulously separating your trash. Noise, in particular, is a major source of potential meiwaku. In densely packed apartment buildings, residents are hyper-aware of the sounds they make, from footsteps to vacuum cleaners. You're expected to keep your voice down in public spaces, and answering a phone call on a crowded train is a major faux pas. This isn't about being silent, it's about being mindful. It's a constant, subconscious calculation. Will my actions negatively affect the people around me? This deep-seated desire to maintain social harmony is what makes Japanese cities so peaceful and orderly, even with millions of people living in close quarters. Here's an interesting paradox for you. Japan has 4 distinct beautiful seasons, and the weather, especially in regions like Tokyo, can be quite temperate even in winter. You might imagine a crisp, sunny January day being perfect for a walk in the park or along the beach. But you might arrive to find the area officially closed. This isn't because of the weather. It's due to administrative schedules. Many public facilities, including parks, outdoor pools, and even some beaches, operate on a strict calendar. If the official season is over, they close, regardless of the actual conditions. The staff are reassigned, the services are shut down, and the gates are locked. For a visitor, this can be baffling. Why close a perfectly good park? It speaks to a culture that places a high value on order, structure, and administrative procedure. The rules are the rules, and the schedule is the schedule. It's a fascinating example of how bureaucracy and a preference for clear, predictable systems can sometimes override practical spontaneity. Finally, let's talk about how people get around. While Japan is home to world-renowned car manufacturers, the vast majority of citizens in major cities rely on what is arguably the world's best public transit system. The average Tokyo resident, for instance, spends less than 1 hour driving per week. Think about that. For most, cars are a luxury or a weekend vehicle, not a daily necessity. The train and subway network is so punctual, clean, and extensive that it's simply the most logical way to navigate the city. Punctuality is legendary. A train arriving even a minute late is a rare event that often warrants an apology. This reliance on public transit shapes the very structure of the city and the daily lives of its inhabitants. It fosters a more communal way of life. You're not isolated in your metal box. You're sharing a space with your fellow citizens every day, reinforcing those unwritten rules of social conduct we've been talking about. It's a system built on efficiency, trust, and shared responsibility. So, from the simple act of not blowing your nose to the complex dance of the Shibuya crossing, these elements paint a picture of a society built on mutual respect and consideration. The concept of meiwaku is the invisible thread connecting them all, guiding millions to coexist peacefully. Even the seemingly strange administrative quirks like closing a park in good weather highlight a deep-seated respect for order and procedure. And it's all made possible by a world-class public transit system that serves as the city's circulatory system, moving people efficiently and fostering a sense of shared community. Understanding these subtle rules doesn't just make you a better tourist. It gives you a profound appreciation for the intricate and beautiful machinery of Japanese urban life. It's a reminder that sometimes the quietest rules have the loudest impact on creating a harmonious society. In Japan, there's a concept called inimuri, which literally translates to sleeping while present. Far from being a sign of laziness, catching a quick nap at your desk is often seen as a badge of honor. It's perceived as evidence that you're so dedicated, so committed to your job, that you've worked yourself to the point of complete exhaustion. It shows your colleagues and your boss that you've been burning the midnight oil. Of course, there are unwritten rules. You need to remain upright, as if you could spring back into action at any moment. Slumping over or drooling on your keyboard is still a no-go. This acceptance of public napping isn't just in offices. You'll see people practicing inimuri on park benches, in cafes, and especially on their long commutes home on the train. It's a cultural quirk that speaks volumes about the value placed on visible hard work. Now let's get into something straight out of a movie script. Imagine you have a crucial company event, but your family can't make it, or worse, you need to impress a client by appearing more popular than you are. What do? In Japan, you can simply rent the people you need. There is a thriving industry of rent-a-family or rent-a-friend services. These agencies provide professional actors who can convincingly play the part of a spouse, a child, a doting uncle, or even a crowd of friends for a wedding or a party. For a business context, you could hire someone to pose as a colleague or a supportive guest at a corporate function. The goal is all about maintaining appearances, or tateme, which is the public face one presents to the world. It's about fulfilling social obligations and avoiding embarrassment, even if it means hiring a stand-in. It's a fascinating, and perhaps a little lonely, solution to social pressure. But the intense work culture in Japan has a tragically dark side. This brings us to a term that sends a chill down the spine: karoshi. This word translates directly and brutally to death by overwork. It's a legally recognized cause of death in Japan, referring to fatalities from stress-induced strokes, heart attacks, or even suicides directly linked to excessive working hours and immense job pressure. The government officially recognizes hundreds of karoshi cases each year, but experts believe the actual number is far, far higher. This isn't just about working a 50 or 60-hour week. We're talking about people regularly logging over 100 hours of overtime in a single month. The phenomenon became so widespread that laws have been introduced to try and cap overtime hours, but changing a deeply ingrained culture is a monumental task. Karoshi is a sobering reminder of the extreme human cost that can come with a culture that prioritizes work above all else. Let's shift gears to a more positive, though equally intense, aspect of the work ethic. Have you ever marveled at the incredible quality and attention to detail in Japanese products? From electronics to simple packaging? A lot of that comes down to a practice you could call dogged work. This isn't just about doing a good job, it's the custom of completing every single task, down to the most minuscule detail, to a standard of absolute perfection. Time is often a secondary consideration. The primary goal is flawlessness. This mindset is drilled into employees from day one. It asks the reason why a presentation will be revised dozens of times to get the font size just right, or why a simple report undergoes multiple layers of checks. While this can lead to incredible quality and customer satisfaction, it can also contribute to those notoriously long working hours, as perfection is a demanding and time-consuming master. It's a double-edged sword, a source of national pride and a significant contributor to workplace stress. Finally, let's talk about something we all look forward to: vacation time. In many Western countries, using all your paid leave is standard practice. It's seen as essential for rest and recharging. In Japan, however, the situation is quite different. Despite being entitled to paid vacation days, the average Japanese office worker only takes about half of them. Why? The reasons are complex and deeply rooted in the collectivist culture. Many employees feel guilty about leaving their team behind to handle their workload. There's a fear of being seen as less dedicated or creating an inconvenience for others. Taking a long holiday can be viewed as selfish. This unspoken pressure to be present, even when you have the right to be absent, is incredibly powerful. The government has even created new public holidays and campaigns to encourage people to take their leave. But the habit of prioritizing the group over the individual means that many Japanese workers are simply not getting the rest they've earned and desperately need. So there you have it, 5 incredible, revealing, and sometimes concerning facts about corporate life in Japan. It's a world of fascinating contradictions, where sleeping at your desk is a sign of diligence, where you can rent a friend for a business meeting, but taking a well-deserved vacation can feel like a betrayal to your team. It's a culture that produces unparalleled quality through dogged work, but also suffers the tragic consequences of karoshi. The Japanese work ethic is so much more complex than just long hours. It's a web of tradition, social pressure, and a unique perspective on the relationship between the individual and the company. In Japan, if a train delay makes you late for work, it's not just a matter of a quick apology. Train companies actually issue a special document called a chien shumei sho, which is essentially a tardiness certificate. You present this to your boss to officially prove that the delay was the train's fault, not yours. It's a level of documentation that shows just how seriously punctuality is taken. Imagine asking your local bus driver for a note. Now, what about corporate gifts? When you think of a high-end corporate gift, you might picture expensive electronics or a fancy bottle of liquor. But in Japan, the ultimate status symbol in gift-giving is often fruit. We're not talking about your average supermarket apple. We're talking about perfectly shaped, immaculately packaged, and incredibly expensive melons, grapes, or strawberries. A single melon can cost hundreds of dollars. Giving such a gift is a sign of utmost respect and sincerity. It reflects a deep cultural appreciation for nature, perfection, and the effort that goes into cultivating these flawless fruits. Next, let's discuss what people wear to the office. While many companies have a standard business dress code, employee uniforms are surprisingly common, and not just in manual labor jobs. You'll find them in a wide range of office settings, from banks to large corporations. The idea behind this is to foster a sense of unity, equality, and company spirit. When everyone wears the same thing, it minimizes distractions, removes social pressure related to fashion, and reinforces the idea that everyone is part of the same team, working towards a common goal. It's a visual representation of the group-oriented culture. Okay, this next one is a bit of a cultural phenomenon that sometimes intersects with the lives of hardworking professionals looking for privacy. We're talking about love hotels. Now, before you jump to conclusions, let's understand their function. These are specialized hotels with about 25,000 locations across the country that can be booked by the hour or for an overnight stay, known as a rest or stay. They offer a high degree of privacy and discretion, with features like automated check-ins and private garage entrances. While their name suggests a primary purpose, they are also used by people for various reasons, like a traveling business person needing a few hours of sleep, a quiet place to work, or simply a moment of solitude away from a crowded home. Their existence speaks to a societal need for private spaces in a densely populated country. Finally, let's touch upon a more serious and structural aspect of Japanese society: social mobility. Japan is known for having a relatively low rate of social mobility compared to many other developed nations. This means that an individual's career path, and to a large extent, their life's trajectory, can be significantly defined by the schools and, most importantly, the university they attend. Graduating from a top-tier university like the University of Tokyo or Kyoto University opens doors to the most prestigious companies and government positions. This brand name, education, often carries more weight than an individual's skills or experience later in life, creating a very structured and predictable career ladder. The pressure to get into a good university is immense because it is seen as the single most important key to lifelong success and stability. It's a system that has deep historical roots and shapes the ambitions and anxieties of young people across the nation. First up, let's talk about the big one: kanji. These are the intricate logographic characters that Japan originally borrowed from China centuries ago. When you look at a Japanese text, these are often the most complex and visually striking symbols. Now, here's a mind-blowing fact. There are over 50,000 kanji characters in existence. Imagine trying to learn all of those. It would be a lifelong quest. But don't worry, if you're thinking about learning Japanese, you don't need to become a walking dictionary. The Japanese government has designated a list of 2,336 characters called the Joyo Kanji, which are the characters for daily use. Mastering these is the key to general literacy, allowing you to read newspapers, books, and navigate everyday life in Japan. Each kanji represents a concept or an idea, like water, fire, love, or mountain. This is what gives the script its incredible depth and poetic quality. One character can tell a whole story. Now, if kanji are the building blocks, our next script, hiragana, is the mortar that holds them all together. Hiragana is a phonetic script, a syllabary, to be exact, meaning each character corresponds to a syllable, like ka, shi, or tu. With its beautiful, flowing, and curvy strokes, hiragana is often considered the most uniquely Japanese of the three scripts. It's the first one that Japanese children learn in school. So what is it used for? Primarily, it's for grammatical particles, verb endings, and other grammatical elements that kanji can't cover. For example, if you see a kanji for to eat, shiberu, taberu, the first character is the kanji for eat, and the last two characters, bi and ru, are written in hiragana to conjugate the verb. It also helps to clarify the pronunciation of a kanji, sometimes written in small characters above it, which is called furigana. So, hiragana works hand in hand with kanji, creating a seamless and functional writing system. Next, we have our third script, katakana. At first glance, katakana might look similar to hiragana, but its characters are much more sharp, angular, and geometric. Think of katakana as the cool, modern cousin in the family of scripts. Its primary and most fascinating role is to write foreign loanwords, what are known as gairaigo. As Japan has interacted with the world, it has adopted thousands of words from other languages, especially English. So, words like computer become computa, compiuta, ice cream becomes aisukurimu, aisukurimu, and even America is written as America, America. But katakana isn't just for foreign words. It's also used for emphasis, much like we use italics or bolding in English. You'll see it used for onomatopoeia, the sounds of things, as well as for the names of plants and animals. It adds another layer of nuance and context to written Japanese, instantly signaling that a word has a specific, modern, or foreign origin. So, we have kanji for core meanings, hiragana for grammar, and katakana for foreign words and emphasis. All three are woven together to create the rich tapestry of written Japanese. It's a system that reflects Japan's history, its cultural evolution, and its relationship with the rest of the world. But the complexity doesn't stop with the writing. Let's talk about the spoken language. Did you know that in Japanese, there are dozens of ways to say the word I? In English, it's just I, simple as that. But in Japan, the pronoun you choose says a lot about you and your relationship to the person you're speaking with. The most standard formal way is watashi, but a man might use boku with friends or in a very casual or assertive context. A young woman might use atashi, and there are many more, including archaic forms you might see in historical dramas. Your choice of I depends on your gender, your age, your social standing, and the formality of the situation. It's a constant, subtle negotiation of social context embedded right into the grammar. Finally, let's touch upon something that reveals the very soul of Japanese culture: expressing love. In Western cultures, saying "I love you" can be a common and direct expression of affection. The direct translation in Japanese is aishiteru, aishiteru. However, you will rarely, if ever, hear this phrase used in everyday conversation. It's considered incredibly intense, heavy, and almost too direct for many situations. Instead, deep feelings are more often conveyed implicitly, through actions, gestures, and a deep sense of mutual understanding. If words are used, they are usually much softer phrases. For example, suki desu, hauki desu, which translates more closely to "I like you," is far more common and can carry a deep romantic meaning depending on the context. Another beautiful concept is ishin denshin, yishin chuanshin, which means heart-to-heart communication without words. This cultural preference for subtlety and showing affection through dedication and care, rather than direct declaration, is a profound insight into the Japanese mindset. It's about feeling and understanding, not just saying. So there you have it, a glimpse into the incredible depth of the Japanese language. From its 3 interwoven writing systems to its socially aware pronouns and subtle expressions of love, it's a language that is as much an art form as it is a method of communication. It truly reflects the history, values, and soul of its people. Have you ever bought a book full of excitement only to let it gather dust on your shelf? That act of buying books and piling them up without ever reading them has its own special word in Japanese. It's not just hoarding. It's an art form, a lifestyle, a promise of future reading that we all understand. So next time you see that unread stack, you can say, "Ah, my tsundoku collection is growing." It sounds so much more sophisticated than just admitting you have a book-buying problem, doesn't it? Next, let's talk structure. Japanese is what linguists call an agglutinative language. It sounds complicated, but the concept is fascinating. Think of it like building with Legos. Instead of using separate words for everything, Japanese glues together small units of meaning, called morphemes, to create longer, more complex words. For example, the verb to eat, which is taberu, can be transformed into tabetakunai, meaning "I don't want to eat," just by adding suffixes. This allows for an incredible amount of precision and nuance to be packed into a single word. It's an incredibly efficient and elegant way to build meaning. Now, for something you might see every day but never think twice about, traffic lights. In most of the world, we say green means go. But in Japan, things are a little different. Due to a fascinating quirk of linguistic history, the light to go is often referred to as ao, which traditionally means blue. Ancient Japanese didn't have a separate word for green. Ao covered both blue and green hues. Even though modern Japanese has the word midori for green, the habit stuck. So, legally, the traffic light is designated as the bluest shade of green possible, a blue-green, to honor the tradition of calling it AO. Imagine getting a ticket for running a blue light. Let's shift from the visible to the invisible. Silence. In many Western cultures, a long pause in conversation can feel awkward or uncomfortable, like someone dropped the ball. But in Japan, silence, or ma, is a powerful and respected part of communication. It's not an empty space. It's a moment filled with meaning. It can signify deep thought, respectful consideration for what was just said, or a way to let an emotional point truly land. It shows that you're not just waiting for your turn to speak, but actively listening and processing. Embracing ma can transform a conversation from a rapid exchange of words into a more thoughtful, connected experience. Finally, let's journey back in time to the very origins of written Japanese. It's hard to imagine, but for a long period of its history, Japan had a fully developed spoken language but no native writing system. It was a purely oral culture. Then, around the 5th century AD, a monumental shift occurred. Through contact with China, Japan began to adopt Chinese characters known as kanji. This was not a simple copy-paste job. They had to ingeniously adapt a writing system designed for a completely different language to fit the unique grammar and sounds of Japanese. This led to the complex, beautiful, and multi-layered writing system we see today, which also includes the phonetic scripts hiragana and katakana. It's a testament to cultural exchange and incredible innovation. So, there you have it. From words for unread books to the color of traffic lights, Japanese is a language that tells a story with every syllable and even in its silences. It's a universe of culture, history, and a unique way of seeing the world. You've probably heard that Japanese trains are punctual, but the reality is even more mind-blowing. We're not talking minutes of delay. The average delay across the entire network is measured in mere seconds. If a train is late by even a single minute, it's considered a significant event, often resulting in official apology slips for passengers to show their employers. It's a level of precision that's almost hard to comprehend, making it the most reliable way to travel in the country. Now, let's talk speed. The Shinkansen, or bullet train, is a global icon for a reason. It's not just fast, it's a record breaker. Can you guess its top speed? The magnetic levitation, or maglev, version holds the world record, hitting a staggering 603 kilometers per hour. That's 374 miles per hour. Imagine gliding across the landscape at that speed, smoothly and quietly. It's less like a train ride and more like a low-altitude flight. This incredible technology allows you to zip between major cities like Tokyo and Osaka in a fraction of the time it would take by car. One of the coolest technical details about the Shinkansen network is how it gets its power. On its high-speed sections, you won't see the traditional, clunky overhead wires you might expect. Instead, it uses a more compact and cleaner system. This not only looks better but also contributes to the train's stability and performance at those extreme speeds. It's a testament to the continuous innovation that keeps Japan at the forefront of railway technology. Every little detail is engineered for perfection. But Japanese transportation isn't just about technology. It's also deeply considerate of its passengers. During the crowded morning and evening rush hours on some busy subway lines, you'll find a unique feature: women-only cars. These designated carriages were introduced to provide a safer and more comfortable environment for female passengers, helping to prevent overcrowding and potential harassment. It's a simple but effective solution that highlights a commitment to passenger well-being and social responsibility, adapting the system to meet real-world needs. And now for something truly whimsical. Have you ever heard of a road that sings to you? In Japan, they exist. They're called melody roads. These are special stretches of asphalt with thousands of grooves carved into the surface at specific intervals. When you drive over them at the correct speed, the vibrations created by your tires passing over the grooves produce a musical tune. You could be driving along and suddenly hear a familiar folk song or a pop hit playing from beneath your car. It is a magical and fun way to combat driver fatigue and make a long drive a little more entertaining. There are dozens of these roads scattered across the country, each playing a different tune. Let's go back to the trains for a moment, because the details just keep getting more interesting. In many train stations, especially on the platforms for the Shinkansen, you'll see lines painted on the ground. These aren't just suggestions. People queue up perfectly within these lines before the train even arrives. When the doors open, they line up exactly with where passengers will board. It's this unspoken social contract of orderliness that makes boarding and alighting so smooth, even with huge crowds. It's a beautiful display of collective courtesy. Speaking of courtesy, let's talk about noise, or rather, the lack of it. On most trains in Japan, it's considered rude to talk on your phone. You'll see signs everywhere reminding you to switch your phone to silent mode and refrain from making calls. People generally speak in hushed tones, if at all. This creates a peaceful, quiet environment for everyone to relax, read, or nap during their commute. It's a stark contrast to the noisy, chaotic train rides you might experience elsewhere in the world. And what about the bus drivers? They are some of the most dedicated professionals you'll ever meet. When a bus stops, the driver will often turn off the engine to save fuel and reduce noise and emissions. They'll thank every passenger as they get off, and when they pull away from the stop, they often give a little wave of thanks to the cars that waited for them. It's this culture of mutual respect that permeates every aspect of the transportation system. Even the taxis are a unique experience. The doors are automatic. The driver opens and closes the rear passenger door for you with a lever. The drivers themselves are impeccably dressed, often wearing white gloves, and their cars are spotlessly clean. You won't find a crumb or a stray piece of paper. It feels less like a cab ride and more like a private car service. Tipping is not a practice in Japan, so the price you see on the meter is exactly what you pay. Let's circle back to the Shinkansen for one last amazing fact. The cleaning crew for the bullet trains is famous for its 7-minute miracle. When a train pulls into its final stop, a team of cleaners boards and has just 7 minutes to completely clean and prepare the entire train for its next journey. They collect trash, wipe down tray tables, turn all the seats to face the direction of travel, and check for lost items. They work with such speed and precision that it's become a famous spectacle in itself. This ensures that every passenger starts their journey in a pristine environment. It's a system designed not just to move people, but to do so with the utmost respect for their time, comfort, and safety. Let's start with something you probably use every single day, maybe even multiple times a day. The QR code. That little black and white square you scan for menus, payments, and tickets, it's a Japanese invention. Back in 1994, a company called Denso Wave, a subsidiary of Toyota, was looking for a better way to track automobile parts during the manufacturing process. The traditional barcodes just weren't cutting it. They couldn't hold enough information. So their team, led by engineer Masahiro Hara, developed the Quick Response Code. It could hold over 200 times more data than a standard barcode and could be read incredibly fast from any angle. They geniusly decided not to patent the technology, making it freely available for anyone to use. This open-source approach is a huge reason why QR codes exploded in popularity globally, especially with the rise of smartphones. From factory floors to global marketing campaigns, this humble grid has revolutionized how we access information. Now, let's talk about how we express ourselves online. Can you imagine texting without a laughing, crying face, a heart, or a simple thumbs up? You have Japan to thank for that, too. The world's first set of emojis was created in 1999 by Shigetaka Kurita, who was working for the Japanese mobile carrier NTT Docomo. He was tasked with creating a simple visual way for users to communicate on their early internet-enabled phones, which had very limited character counts for messages. Inspired by manga art, weather symbols, and street signs, Kurita designed a set of 176 pixelated icons, each 12 by 12 pixels. These little pictures were an instant hit in Japan, allowing people to add emotional nuance and personality to their digital messages. It took a while for the rest of the world to catch on, but once Apple included an emoji keyboard on the iPhone in 2011, their global takeover was complete. Today, emojis are a universal language, transcending cultural and linguistic barriers, all thanks to a small team in Japan trying to make texting a bit more colorful. All right, let's shift gears from the incredibly useful to the wonderfully weird. Have you ever heard of chindogu? It's a concept that is uniquely Japanese. The term, coined by inventor Kenji Kawakami, translates roughly to unuseless inventions. These are gadgets designed to solve a very specific, everyday problem, but their execution is so elaborate, awkward, or socially embarrassing that you'd probably never use them in public. Think of a device that combines a butter stick with a glue stick mechanism for easy toast buttering, or a full-body umbrella to protect you from head to toe during a downpour. Or how about a hat with a roll of toilet paper attached for hay fever sufferers? The beauty of chindogu is that they're not meant to be serious commercial products. They are a form of creative expression, a playful satire on consumerism and our obsession with convenience. They highlight a problem, but the solution is intentionally impractical. It's a celebration of ingenuity for its own sake, a kind of performance art in the form of bizarre gadgets. It makes you think, laugh, and question what useful really means. Now, let's get a little more personal and talk about bathrooms. If you've ever traveled to Japan, you know that their toilets are on another level. I'm talking about the washlet. While the concept of a bidet originated in Europe, it was the Japanese company Toto that took it and supercharged it into the high-tech throne we see today. They introduced the first washlet in 1980, integrating a bidet function directly into the toilet seat. But they didn't stop there. Over the years, they added features that many outside of Japan might find astonishing. Heated seats for those cold winter mornings, a warm air dryer, customizable water pressure and temperature, and even a privacy function that plays a flushing sound to mask any other noises. It's a testament to the Japanese principle of omotenashi, or wholehearted hospitality, extending even to the most private of spaces. These toilets are all about providing the ultimate in comfort, hygiene, and consideration for others. Once you've experienced a Japanese washlet, a regular old toilet just feels incomplete. Finally, let's talk about a solution for the weary traveler or the late-night worker, the capsule hotel. This is another invention born out of a uniquely Japanese context. The first one, the Capsule Inn Osaka, opened in 1979, designed by the visionary architect Kisho Kurokawa. The idea was to provide a simple, affordable, and space-efficient place for people, mostly businessmen at the time, to sleep for a night. Instead of a full room, guests rent a small bed-sized pod stacked in rows. Each capsule typically contains a bed, lighting, and maybe a small TV. Shared facilities like bathrooms and lounges are separate. It was a brilliant solution for a country with high population density and expensive real estate in its urban centers. While they might seem a bit claustrophobic to some, capsule hotels offer a clean, safe, and no-frills accommodation option that has since spread to other parts of the world, appealing to budget travelers and those looking for a unique lodging experience. From a practical necessity, it has become a cultural icon. Have you ever heard of Okunoshima? It's more famously known as Rabbit Island, and for a very good reason. This small island in the inland sea is completely populated by thousands of semi-wild, yet incredibly friendly, rabbits. Imagine stepping off a ferry and being greeted by a fluffy army of bunnies hopping around your feet, all eager for a snack and a gentle pat. The origin of these rabbits is a bit of a mystery, with some stories linking them to old scientific experiments, while others say they were released by schoolchildren. Whatever their origin, they now rule the island, making it one of the most adorable and surreal destinations you could ever visit. It's a must-see for any animal lover. From fluffy bunnies, we move to some seriously cool monkeys. You've probably seen photos of them, but the reality is even more amazing. The famous snow monkeys, or Japanese macaques, in Jigokudani Monkey Park have developed a unique way to survive the harsh winters. They actually bathe in natural hot springs, or onsens, to stay warm. Picture this: a snowy landscape, steam rising from the water, and these red-faced monkeys just chilling in their natural spa, grooming each other and looking completely relaxed. It's an incredible example of animals adapting to their environment in the most ingenious way. Seeing them in person is a truly unforgettable experience, offering a glimpse into a behavior found nowhere else on Earth. It's like they have their own exclusive 5-star resort. Next, we travel to the ancient city of Nara, where history and wildlife live side by side in a remarkable way. In Nara Park, you'll find hundreds of sika deer roaming freely. But these aren't just any deer. They are considered sacred messengers of the gods in the Shinto religion. For centuries, they've been protected and revered. What's truly astounding is their behavior around tourists. If you have some special shikasenbei, or deer crackers, they will often bow to you to ask for food. You bow. They bow back. It's an incredible interaction that feels both polite and magical. It's a beautiful symbol of the harmony between humans and nature that has been cultivated in Nara for over 1,000 years. Where else in the world can you have such a polite exchange with a wild animal? Now let's dive into the water for our next creature, and this one is a living fossil. Japan is home to a unique and slightly mysterious animal, the Japanese giant salamander. This is one of the largest amphibians in the world, capable of growing up to an astonishing 5 feet long. They live in cool, clear mountain streams and are almost entirely nocturnal. What's even more fascinating is that they are nearly blind, relying on an excellent sense of smell and touch to hunt for fish and insects along the riverbed. These incredible creatures can live for decades and are a protected species in Japan. Seeing one is incredibly rare, but knowing that these prehistoric giants are still thriving in Japan's rivers is a powerful reminder of the country's hidden biodiversity. They are truly a wonder of the natural world. Finally, let's look at a fact that says a lot about modern Japanese society. It's a surprising statistic. The country has more pets than children. The number of registered dogs and cats in Japan significantly outnumbers the population of children under the age of 15. This reflects some of the major social trends in the country, including its aging population and declining birth rate. For many people, especially in urban areas, pets have become cherished members of the family, providing companionship and joy. You'll see pet clothing stores, gourmet pet food, and even pet strollers everywhere. It's a fascinating cultural shift that highlights the deep bond between people and their animal companions in contemporary Japan. Let's start with something many of us might need: Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing. This isn't about taking a literal bath in the woods. It's a recognized form of therapy in Japan where you spend mindful, intentional time surrounded by trees. The goal is to engage all your senses, listening to the rustle of leaves, feeling the texture of the bark, smelling the damp earth. It's scientifically proven to reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and boost your immune system. It's about disconnecting from technology and reconnecting with the natural world, allowing the forest's tranquility to wash over you. Think of it as a reset button for your mind and body. The next time you feel overwhelmed, maybe a walk in the woods is exactly what you need. Now, let's talk about one of the most iconic symbols of Japan, the cherry blossom, or sakura. These breathtakingly beautiful pink and white flowers are a national obsession, but their significance goes far beyond their looks. The iconic cherry blossom blooms last for just about 2 weeks. This fleeting beauty represents a deep philosophical idea in Japanese culture known as mono no aware, which translates to the pathos of things. It's a gentle sadness about the transient, ephemeral nature of life. The blossoms are a powerful reminder that life, like the flowers, is beautiful but short, and we should cherish every moment of its existence. It's a celebration of life and an acceptance of its impermanence, all captured in a delicate petal. From the fleeting beauty of flowers, we move to the timeless art of paper. You've probably heard of origami, the traditional art of paper folding. But did you know about its core principle? The strictest rule of traditional origami is to use a single, square sheet of paper with no cuts or glue. This limitation forces incredible creativity. A simple piece of paper can be transformed into a crane, a flower, or an intricate dragon. This practice is more than just a craft. It's a meditative exercise in precision, patience, and imagination. It teaches the idea that with focus and care, something simple and humble can become something truly extraordinary. It's a metaphor for potential, hidden within the everyday. Let's stay with the theme of natural artistry and explore ikebana. This is the Japanese art of flower arrangement, and it's far more complex than just putting pretty flowers in a vase. Ikebana is a disciplined art form where the arrangement is a living thing. It focuses on creating harmony through line, color, and function. Unlike many Western arrangements that emphasize the quantity and color of blossoms, ikebana values the space between the flowers as much as the flowers themselves. It often uses branches, stems, and leaves to create a specific shape or feeling, representing the relationship between heaven, earth, and humanity. Each arrangement tells a story and is designed to evoke a specific mood or emotion, turning nature into a form of sculptural art. Finally, let's step into a traditional Japanese garden. These are not just collections of plants. They are meticulously designed landscapes meant to inspire peace and reflection. A key design principle used is called shake, or borrowed scenery. This brilliant technique incorporates the distant landscape outside the garden walls, like a faraway mountain or a cluster of trees, into the garden's own design. By framing these outside elements, the garden appears larger and more integrated with its surroundings. It breaks down the barrier between the man-made space and the natural world, creating a seamless, expansive vista. It's a masterful illusion that reminds us we are part of a much larger, interconnected world. Have you ever found beauty in something that's a little bit broken or worn? A cracked teacup, a weathered wooden gate, or the fleeting beauty of a cherry blossom? If so, you've experienced the essence of wabi-sabi. This isn't just an aesthetic, it's a deep-seated Japanese worldview. Wabi-sabi is the art of appreciating imperfection, embracing the transient nature of life, and finding profound beauty in natural simplicity. It teaches us to see the elegance in things that are modest, humble, and unconventional. In a world obsessed with perfection and permanence, wabi-sabi offers a refreshing perspective, a reminder that there is charm in the incomplete and a story in every flaw. From the quiet contemplation of wabi-sabi, we pivot to the dynamic world of the samurai and their legendary weapon, the katana. Central to their training was the martial art of kendo, which translates to the way of the sword. But kendo is so much more than a sport. For the samurai, and for practitioners today, it is a a path. It's a rigorous discipline designed to build character, forge an unshakable spirit, and cultivate self-control. Through its intense drills and powerful strikes, kendo teaches respect, focus, and the ability to remain calm under pressure. It's not about defeating an opponent. It's about conquering oneself. The samurai's code of honor, Bushido, was absolute. Within this code lay one of its most misunderstood and solemn practices, seppuku. Often sensationalized, seppuku was a complex and highly ritualized act, a form of ritual suicide. It was not a sign of despair, but rather a final, ultimate act to restore honor in the face of shame, failure, or capture. For a samurai, living with disgrace was a fate worse than death itself. This solemn ritual, reserved for the warrior class, underscores the immense value they placed on honor and duty, a concept that is difficult for many of us to grasp today but was central to their identity. Now, let's journey north to Japan's northernmost island, Hokkaido. Long before the samurai rose to prominence, these lands were home to the Ainu people, the indigenous inhabitants of Japan. For centuries, the Ainu have maintained a culture entirely distinct from the rest of Japan, with their own unique language, spiritual beliefs centered on nature, and rich artistic traditions. Their intricate wood carvings and beautiful textiles tell stories of their deep connection to the land and the spirit world. Today, there's a growing movement to preserve and revitalize the Ainu culture, ensuring their invaluable heritage is not lost to time. From the rustic traditions of the Ainu, we turn to one of Japan's most iconic symbols of grace and beauty, the kimono. You might think of it as a simple robe, but a traditional kimono is a wearable work of art. Dressing in a formal kimono is an intricate process, sometimes involving over a dozen distinct layers, sashes, and accessories. Every element, from the fabric's pattern to the way the obi, or sash, is tied, is deliberate. There are complex, unwritten rules based on the wearer's age, marital status, and even the specific season or event. A kimono is more than just clothing. It's a statement of identity, occasion, and respect for tradition. The spirit of the samurai, Bushido, was not just about martial prowess. It was a complete way of life. It emphasized virtues like courage, integrity, loyalty, and compassion. This code guided every aspect of a samurai's existence, from their conduct on the battlefield to their interactions in daily life. It taught that true strength was found not in aggression, but in self-mastery and benevolence. Though the samurai class no longer exists, the core tenets of Bushido continue to resonate in modern Japan, influencing everything from business ethics to the deep-rooted sense of collective responsibility and respect that you can still feel in the culture today. Another fascinating concept from Japanese philosophy is ikigai. It's a beautiful term that doesn't have a direct English translation, but it essentially means a reason for being. It's the intersection of what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. It's your life's purpose, the reason you get up in the morning. Finding your ikigai is considered a key to a long, happy, and fulfilling life. It's not about grand ambition, but about finding joy and satisfaction in the everyday, whether it's in your career, your family, or your hobbies. It's a powerful reminder to live with intention and passion. Let's step into the serene world of the Japanese tea ceremony, or cha-no-yu. This is far from just making a cup of tea. It is a highly choreographed ritual, a spiritual practice rooted in Zen Buddhism. Every movement, from cleaning the utensils to whisking the matcha powder and serving the guest, is performed with grace and mindfulness. The ceremony is designed to foster harmony, respect, purity, and tranquility. It's a moment to step away from the chaos of the outside world and appreciate the simple, profound act of sharing a bowl of tea. It embodies the principles of wabi-sabi and a deep respect for the present moment. Japan's rich cultural heritage is also filled with captivating myths and folklore populated by yokai, a class of supernatural spirits and demons. These creatures range from mischievous pranksters like the kappa, a river-dwelling imp, to fearsome demons like the oni. These stories were more than just entertainment. They were used to explain natural phenomena, teach moral lessons, and express the anxieties and wonders of life. Yokai are deeply embedded in Japanese art, literature, and even modern anime and video games, showcasing a belief in a world teeming with spirits just beyond our sight. Finally, we can't talk about Japanese philosophy without mentioning kaizen, the principle of continuous improvement. Originally developed in the business world, kaizen is the idea that small, ongoing positive changes can lead to major improvements over time. It's about striving to be a little bit better today than you were yesterday. This philosophy applies not just to manufacturing processes, but to personal development as well. Whether it's learning a new skill, improving a relationship, or honing a craft, kaizen teaches that the journey of 1,000 miles truly begins with a single, consistent step. From the honor of the samurai to the beauty of imperfection, the philosophies and traditions of Japan offer us so many profound lessons. They teach us to find meaning in every moment, to respect the world around us, and to constantly strive for a better version of ourselves. Have you ever heard of gagaku? It's not just music, it's a living piece of history. Gagaku is the oldest continuously performed orchestral music in the entire world, with roots stretching back over a millennium to the imperial courts of ancient Japan. Listening to gagaku is like opening a time capsule, hearing the same melodies that emperors and courtiers enjoyed. It's a beautifully preserved art form that continues to be performed in ceremonies and concerts today, a testament to Japan's dedication to its cultural heritage. From ancient art, let's turn to ancient business. Think about the oldest company you know. Now, let's multiply its age by 10, maybe even 20. Japan holds the incredible record for the world's oldest continuously operating company. The construction firm Kongo Gumi was founded way back in the year 578. For over 1,400 years, this family-run business specialized in building and maintaining Buddhist temples. Imagine the sheer amount of history, knowledge, and dedication passed down through generations. While it was absorbed by another company in 2006, its 1,400-year legacy is a mind-boggling example of Japanese commitment to craftsmanship and tradition. Now, let's leap forward from ancient history to the cutting edge of the future. Japan is facing a unique demographic challenge. It has one of the most rapidly aging populations on the planet. But where some see a problem, Japan sees an opportunity for innovation. The country is a major proponent of using robotics in elder care. We're talking about everything from friendly robots that provide companionship and conversation to sophisticated automated beds and specialized machines that assist with mobility. This isn't science fiction. It's a real-world solution being developed to ensure dignity, independence, and quality of life for its senior citizens. It's a compassionate use of technology that the rest of the world is watching closely. Let's rewind the clock again, all the way back to the very first time Japan appeared in written history. The first known mention of the country wasn't in a Japanese text, but in a Chinese historical book from the 1st century AD. In this ancient record, the islands were referred to as the land of Wa. The character for Wa has evolved in meaning over time, but this early mention gives us a glimpse into how Japan was perceived by its powerful neighbor 2,000 years ago. It's a fascinating starting point for the long and rich recorded history of the nation. Finally, let's end with a small but significant custom that says so much about Japanese culture: the use of slippers. In a traditional Japanese home, you don't just wear one pair of indoor slippers. There are often different sets for different areas. You'll have your main slippers for walking around the house, but there will be another, separate pair placed at the entrance to the bathroom. You switch into the bathroom slippers when you enter and switch back when you leave. This practice is rooted in the Shinto concepts of purity and cleanliness, creating a clear separation between different spaces within the home. It's a small daily ritual that reflects a deep cultural value. Let me tell you something that you might have seen in anime or photos. People sleeping on trains, in meetings, or at their desks. This is called inamuri, which literally translates to sleeping while present. In many Western cultures, dozing off on the job would get you a stern warning or even fired. But in Japan, inamuri can be viewed as a sign of extreme dedication. The logic is that you must be working so incredibly hard that you're completely exhausted. You're not being lazy, you're pushing yourself to the absolute limit for the company. It's a temporary shutdown, a quick recharge before diving right back into the grind. It shows you're committed, even when your body is begging for a break. It's a fascinating cultural nuance that tells you right away that the approach to work here is fundamentally different. Now, imagine this scenario. You're getting married, but you have a small family, or maybe some relatives can't make it. You want the event to look full and lively. What do? In Japan, there's a solution. You can literally rent people. This is the rent-a-family industry, a booming business where you can hire actors to play any role you need. A proud uncle at a wedding, a group of friends for a party, or even a parent to attend a school meeting. While it might sound strange to us, it's born from a deep-seated cultural emphasis on maintaining appearances and social harmony, or tateme. The pressure to present a certain image to the world is so strong that an entire industry has emerged to help people fill the gaps. These hired actors are professionals. They're given detailed backstories and rehearse their roles to be completely convincing. It's not about deception in a malicious way, but about fulfilling social expectations and avoiding the shame or haji of not meeting them. This speaks volumes about the pressures that extend from the workplace into every corner of the personal life. The need to appear successful and well-connected is paramount. This dedication, however, has a tragically dark side. There's a word in Japanese that has no direct equivalent in English, and it's utterly chilling: karoshi. It means death by overwork. This isn't a metaphor. It refers to a very real phenomenon of people dying from stress-induced strokes, heart attacks, or even taking their own lives due to the immense pressure of their jobs. The first reported case of karoshi was in 1969, and since then, the government has had to officially recognize it as a serious social problem. It's the extreme, heartbreaking consequence of a culture that often demands total sacrifice for the company. Stories of employees working hundreds of hours of overtime a month are not uncommon. Karoshi is a stark reminder that the same cultural values that drive incredible productivity and quality can, when pushed to their limits, have devastating human costs. It's a national tragedy that Japan is still grappling with today. To understand why this happens, we need to look at another core concept, what I'll call dogged work. This is the ingrained custom of completing every single task, down to the tiniest detail, to a standard of absolute perfection. Think of a master craftsman spending days on a single joint in a piece of furniture, or an animator redrawing a single frame dozens of times. This philosophy is applied to everything, including office work. Mediocrity is not an option. While this pursuit of excellence is why Made in Japan is a mark of supreme quality, it also means that tasks can take an enormous amount of time. The pressure to get every detail perfect, combined with long hours, creates a powerful cycle of overwork. It's a relentless pursuit of flawlessness that is both awe-inspiring and, at times, crushing for the individual worker. This mindset is drilled in from a young age and is a cornerstone of the professional world. So, with all this hard work, you'd think people would be desperate to use their vacation days, right? Well, here's another cultural twist. Despite being legally entitled to paid time off, the average Japanese office worker only takes about half of their vacation days. Why? It's all about group harmony and not wanting to be the one to disrupt it. The thinking goes, if I take a day off, I'll be burdening my colleagues with my work. They are already so busy. There's an unspoken pressure to be present, to show you're a dedicated member of the team. Taking a long vacation can be seen as selfish or a sign that you aren't fully committed. Even when encouraged by their bosses to take time off, many employees feel a sense of guilt and choose to stay at their desks instead. This creates a situation where everyone is collectively overworked, partly because no one wants to be the first to step away. It's a powerful example of how the group's needs are often placed far above the individual as. When you put all these pieces together, the honor in exhaustion, the pressure of appearances, the pursuit of perfection, and the guilt of taking a break, you start to see the complex tapestry of Japanese work culture. It's a system that has produced incredible economic success and products of unparalleled quality. But it has also created immense social and personal challenges that the country is actively trying to address. The government has been pushing for work-style reforms, encouraging companies to limit overtime and promote better work-life balance. Younger generations are also starting to question these long-held traditions, seeking more flexibility and personal time. It's a culture in transition, caught between a powerful legacy of dedication and a growing desire for a more sustainable way of life. It is a reminder that every culture has its own unique definition of what it means to work hard and be successful. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the world of work in Japan. It's a topic with so many layers, and we've only just scratched the surface. If you found this interesting, please hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations of fascinating cultures from around the globe. See you in the next one.